Kacey. I am 10 years old and I participate in the Tasty Stickers 4-H Club in Barbour County. Today I will speak about Barbour County 4-H Horse Camp. Next slide, please. What is Horse Camp? Horse Camp is a hands-on experience for girls and boys interested in all things horses. Campers take care of their horses by feeding, grooming, and mucking stalls. They take classes based on experience, knowledge, and comfort level. Next slide, please. A typical day. At 7 a.m., you are woken up by the birdie song. Horses are always the priority. Before we eat breakfast, horses are fed, groomed, and watered. We have flag ceremony, breakfast, then our horses are groomed again, tribal meeting, and by 9:30 we are riding our horses in the arena. Next slide, please. In the afternoon, we either have parts of a horse or crafts. And then we have riding again, horse care, tribal meetings, and at 11 p.m., lights out. Next slide, please. Classes. There are many classes we take about throughout the week. I will touch on the core 3. Next slide. Showmanship. This is a class we only take once throughout the whole week. In this class, you learn how to properly show your horse. Next slide, please. Riding class. This is a class we have every day. We perform exercises that teach us to control, ride, and learn more about our horse. Next slide, please. Parts of a horse. We learn the parts of a saddle, bridle, and horse. So, the elbow, the forearm, the knee, the cannon, the pastern, the heel, the hoof, the coronet, the fetlock, the pastern, the cannon, the hock, the gaskin, the tail, the forehead, and the muzzle, and so on. Next slide, please. The comparison of horse camp and county camp. In horse camp, we sleep in a barn indoors, and in county camp, we sleep inside on cots and beds. And horse camp, both have classes, except at horse camp, classes are decided by counselors, and they're all about horses. And in county camp, classes decided by campers are all about archery, sports, sewing, cake decorating, and so on. Both have tribes, songs, and both are very fun. Next slide, please. The main event, the show. The asterisks indicate the events I participated in. Beginner showmanship, beginner western pleasure, beginner horsemanship, next slide, and beginner trail. Next slide, please. Pictures from the show. Pictured here is the barn where I slept. Next slide, please. Western pleasure. Western pleasure is a Western style competition that evaluates horses on manners and suitability. Next slide, please. Showmanship. Showmanship is an event where you lead a horse wearing a halter through a series of maneuvers called patterns. Pictured here on both sides is me with my horse Powder after the show. Next slide, please. Horsemanship. Horsemanship is an event where a rider is evaluated on their form, style, and ability. Pictured on both sides is me with my horse Powder after and during the event. Next slide, please. Trail riding. Trail riding is when you run a horse through a series of obstacles you may encounter in everyday life, such as going over barrels, going backwards through a bend, or passing a mailbox. Pictured here is me with my horse Powder. Next slide, please. What I learned. I learned how to measure a horse using hands, how to care for a horse, such as cleaning up after them, mucking their stalls, grooming, and feeding them. I learned to identify the colors, markings, and breeds of a horse, and how to tie a knot with a lead rope so your horse stays where you want it to stay. At the end of the week, we are tested on everything we learn. Here is an example of how we are tested. 3 main components are horse handling, such as approaching and catching a horse, riding tests, such as properly mounting and dismounting a horse, and horse management, such as describing 5 common colors of a horse. Next slide, please. In conclusion, what I've learned at horse camp will help me in everyday life with skills such as time management, care for another being such as besides myself, discipline, and structure. Next slide, please. The sources I used during the presentation were theequinus.com, habitatforhorses.com, and Sarah, the camp owner. Thank you for your time.